Bless you. Are you okay?
No, I'm just a little sick.
You are little, but how'd you get sick?
This is the real Matt from Until We Agree, by the way. Germs, I'm guessing. Hit it, Hutch.
You know what it is now, boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Welcome back to Until We Agree. I'm Tyler from Until We Agree. I'm with Matt from Until We Agree. I'll be driving this bad boy today because as you can hear right there, Matt is sick.
I'm so sick.
He picked up the vid where'd you pick it up? Why don't you tell everybody where you've been this week?
Russia. Shout out to our new listeners in Russia this week.
Okay, well... Okay.
Oh, sorry.
We do have new listeners in Russia, but that's not where you've been.
What I meant to say is, I'm so sick.
And Disney. You were at Disney.
Disney World, or Orlando at large even. I went to Universal too. But where did I get the vid? I'm guessing Southwest Airlines. What happened was flew out early last Sunday. That's why we recorded way early last week, was I was going on vacation. But this is actually the most insane thing travel wise that I want to speak to. It's Surprise Topic Tuesday, everyone. Welcome back to Until We Agree. This is Matt from Until We Agree with Tyler from Until We Agree. And everyone knows who's been around for a while knows that Surprise Topic Tuesday is where me and Tyler bring surprise topics.
When we don't prepare.
Nothing's prepared. The other person, well, we prepare our own topics, but the other person doesn't know what's happening. Sorry. I'm so sick. I'm talking too much. But what happens, this is not one of them, but this is like kind of a bonus one. We haven't started that part of the show yet. But travel-wise, the most insane thing happened to me on Southwest Airlines on that week, or a week ago. We get on the flight. Oh, so we check in 24 hours before. I crush it. I get B8, B9, which is not crushing it necessarily, but that's really, really good boarding. If you know Southwest, and you know that's free-for-all seating on Southwest, so the closer you get to A or low B, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a good seat, and seats if you're traveling with one other person, you're almost guaranteed to have those seats together. So I'll make that straight up. The trip was great, by the way. Fortunately, I didn't feel sick throughout the trip until maybe the very last day. So the trip was not ruined by this. It's just been the last couple of days getting back into town that I've been sick. And I said
I'm surprised you flew. You're usually more of a driver.
I know. I hate driving. I really do. But sometimes you have to. But if I can fly, I would fly anywhere before driving. I really have learned that I don't love long distance driving. So a city like Orlando that has like an airport that you can fly into, I'm all about that. But
I mean, is the Orlando airport anything to be writing home about?
No,
you remember what happened to me at the Orlando airport?
You went to the other one. You went to the small one. This is the main one
I did go to
that has planes that come to and fro often. So they're a little bit more organized over there at the main international.
Have we ever told that story?
We can I think today would be a great day to talk about it. But as
I was stranded at the airport.
And I told myself I would make sure, because his flight was delayed. I guess we're talking about it now. His flight was delayed late into the night, and I made sure to remind myself to double check that he actually got on.
Well, I think it's important to know my flight was like 3 or 4 p.m.
Right.
So I get to the airport pretty early, trying to be on time, and the flight gets delayed like, I don't know, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Gets delayed to 8.
Mm-hmm.
Gets delayed to like 11.
Ooh.
And at this point, Matt knows my flight's being delayed constantly, but he's on top of it. He's going to stay up just in case it gets canceled, right?
So I would love...
That's what I'm thinking, right?
Before I'm painted as a villain, which I frankly am a little bit in this story, but as a full villain, I call back to last week, Crohn's disease, not curable. I had a Crohn's attack that night after dinner, and so I really was taken out of commission in a way that I don't love to reminisce on. So that is why my thoughts were not totally on Tyler. I figured that everything was good as I was going to sleep, which was very, very wrong.
Everything was not good.
So wrong.
Everything was not good because then the flight got delayed till like midnight and then 1 a.m., which was wild. And then like a pilot and the flight attendants arrive and we're all like, oh, we're actually about to leave. and they get on the plane, and 10 minutes later they get off the plane and leave the building, and no one says a word.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And I'm texting Matt. I'm like, because it gets canceled, and they give us a $12 voucher. And then I sleep under some airport chairs until 7 a.m. And then Matt realizes
Matt
that
wakes
I
up,
have, I have been sleeping at the airport. He's like, oh, you can come back if you want.
There was a nice clean bed with his name on it that I just.
So I spent so much money on an Uber back to there, and then I was let in. Matt left, and I just slept alone at that house for a couple hours until my flight again.
Yeah, no, I did feel bad about that.
Day.
It really was the Crohn's attack, and yeah, if you just come back at any time, it would have been fine. But yeah, it totally fell off my radar, and I did feel really bad about that. But again, Crohn's disease, no cure for it. But luckily, I believe there's a cure for COVID at this point. I believe my body will cure itself eventually. I think we're getting to that point. The last couple of days have been rough, but I think today is the first step in the right direction. But what was so crazy about this Southwest flight was it was B8, B9 boarding, which is really, really good. That should make me, if everyone buys, so A1 through A15 are reserved for people who buy upgraded tickets to ensure that they're the first people on the plane. So at the very least, in theory, I should have been the 68th and 69th person to board that flight. If everything goes according to plan, with the exception of like people in the military get to join too. I will tell you there was one military person. So in theory, we should have been the 69th and 70th people to board that flight. But for whatever reason, I know what the reason is. We were going to Orlando and a bunch of kids fly to Orlando. I'd never heard this rule before. I'm sure that it's been around, but it took me by great surprise. After the A group boards, they allow every child and family member traveling with that child under the age of 6 to board the plane before the B group.
Well, it's not really a rule, but they do say like if you need extra time, if that's like the whole thing.
Yeah, and so
You've never heard that before?
I've heard that, but this is everyone under the age of 6 and people traveling with the person under the age of 6 you have to board after the A group. And so
what if everybody at the age of 6 just had to get on alone?
Just travel by themselves. Yeah, that would. And honestly,
just figure it out.
I would have been fine with that because it ended up really messing me up. Even though I was B8, B9, which is a great check-in position, there were over 70 people who boarded between groups A and groups B, which then pushes me to essentially a C boarder. And me and my fiance no longer get to sit together on the plane, and we're surrounded by these little rat kids. And I think I picked up COVID from the little rat kids.
Yeah, it sounds like something that would happen
on
a Southwest flight.
So like I said, I'm doing better now though. But yeah, so Tyler, I think, is going to carry the rest of this episode as I attempt to recover. I'm popping off a Dayquil right now, which has really been good for me. But again,
and I just popped 2 vitamins. So
yeah,
we're juiced
he's rich
on the podcast. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you kind of teased it a little bit, but we got a new listener in Russia, and as we always do, say hello to our fan in Russia in a Russian accent.
Rah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that's it, but you know what? That's okay.
Could not have been it. I can't imagine. I realized as I was I was ready to say hello in whatever language, in Russian, but I realized I don't know what hello is in Russian like at all.
I don't know what hello is either. I just know they say brother a lot. At least the UFC guys do.
Sure. That's all we know. That's all I know about Russia. From everything else I've heard, it's a great country, a beautiful country. I'd love to visit one day, but they have great UFC fighters and they speak Russian. So great country over there. Shout out Russia for real.
Yeah, and so I guess
that's the official stance of Until We Agree is by the way. So
that we I don't know if I don't like that actually.
I might need to
because now that I think there's like a conflict or something.
I actually just did some quick Google searching after I said that. Turns out it's pretty rough over there, and I don't know if we.
Yeah, Russia's not good.
Not in a great place right now, so maybe we're not pro Russia.
Warmongering.
Sure, I think it's safe to say we're not pro Russia right now.
Not right now.
But shout out to the one listener over there. Hope you're doing well.
We're pro that one listener
for sure.
If it's Vladimir, what is
can you imagine?
Oh no way. That would be crazy.
Yeah. So,
dude, if it is though, like seriously, chill.
Yeah, take a breather.
I think that's
man. That's our official stance. Take a breather.
Yeah, take a breather over there. But yeah, it's It's Surprise Topic Tuesday. And by Tuesday, for you, it is recording day for us, which we will leave unannounced.
Monday.
The whimsy and mystery in the podcast. It's Monday.
Yeah.
And so, would you like to start, or would you like me to start?
Sure. I'll start with so being sick the last couple of days, I've really been good about not being on my phone because my head's kind of been in like a weird place. So screen time has kind of like messed with me a little bit. So I've been off the phone more than usual, off the screens, which is giving me a lot of time to kind of just have some more abstract thoughts. And one that I meant to do a lot more research on, but I didn't at all. And I wish I did because this has eaten away at me. And I think, honestly, I need to follow up with you maybe next week or in the next couple of weeks after I do some research on this, because this topic has stuck with me more than any other viral moment in like the history of the internet. And
wait, can I guess it?
Yeah, please do. Nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it, but it's.
But like at
when
the time,
did this happen? Was it this year?
I can't tell you exactly because that would give a lot away. But it was over 10 years ago.
Oh, you're talking about the dress.
No, not the dress. The dress was wild, but people still talk about the dress to this day. Not much, obviously.
Yeah.
But people still talk about it. But this is something.
A viral moment.
And it was over 10 years ago, and it was the most. It took over the world for 2 weeks, and no one ever talked about it ever again. Do you want me to tell you?
Okay. Yeah, please do.
Kony 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Kony 2012?
There were activists, full-on activists in our middle school.
Absolute activists who were buying merch because, so for those of you who may not remember Kony 2012 or too young for Kony 2012, because our demo does skew young. What happened was some random filmographer, some guy uploaded, he was a filmmaker. He wasn't just a YouTuber, he was a filmmaker. And he had made this documentary on this guy named Joseph Kony, who was basically like he was like a militia man who like would kidnap kids and was basically waging war on a bunch of different countries in Africa by like going to villages and like ransacking them and then like taking all their children. And so horrible. So everyone got behind this whole concept was make Kony famous because we need to like stop this. And so if everyone in the world knows who Joseph Kony is, we'll be able to stop him. Everything on the surface makes total sense. This is all true. What's happening? This is an awful thing. And it was incredible that there was merch being made, and there was like this whole day set aside that was like, we're going to all like paint our towns, our cities with these posters that are like bright red that say Kony 2012 on them. And there's merch, and we're going to talk about it and just make him known. So like the FBI and the army and the militaries in those countries will like make a huge effort to like finally bring down Joseph Kony. It was everywhere. That day came. And so like the build up to that day was incredible. Like I still remember like driving up and down Knoxville, Tennessee as a child and seeing these posters everywhere. It took over. It had hundreds of millions of views. And then this is where I wish I'd done more research. First of all, I don't know if First of all, I don't know if Joseph Kony is a real person. That was never like made clear to me or not. I fully believed it. And then people started saying this isn't actually what's happening. Or it's like Joseph Kony is a real person, but it's actually not, he's actually not a bad guy. And even now I'm speaking to something I don't know. And I wish I did, because I think this is an appropriate way to bring this up, because there was so much confusion around the fact that like maybe Joseph Kony isn't even who this guy is saying he was. And then there was like this thing where like the guy who released the video was caught having like a manic episode in like the middle of like some like wherever he lived, and it was like running around the city like without clothes on. And so it was just a very confusing time. And then like the day where we were all supposed to make Joseph Kony famous, nothing happened. There was supposed to be there was like parties planned in every single city to like make him known. No, everyone who was saying they were going to go, no one went. No one ever posted about it ever again. And that was the end of it. That was the end of Kony 2012. And I don't know if we got Kony. If he's out there, we did not. I don't think we got him, because we would know. I feel like
I think he's still at large, but I do think, like I think I don't know. I don't remember hearing about it after 2012 much, but I do think it was like misrepresented, and kind of like the film that was made about it, I think was like supposed to be like racist.
See, and that
so we should do some digging.
That's the thing is like I think the filmmaker was definitely in the. It doesn't mean that if Joseph Kony's a bad person, that's its own separate
nefarious
thing.
intentions.
Yeah,
maybe they both did. We don't know.
There's a good chance that they're both evil people, but for very different, like in very different ways. So that was something that I never got closure on, and no one remembers it. Like no one talks about it, and I wish someone did. I used to make Kony 2012 like 5 years ago. I would make like remember Kony 2012, and like people would be like, no, no one would remember it. And I know I wasn't alone there. It was like a 45-minute video that I like came home from school one day and just sat in the living room and just watched with my mom. Even like I got my mom on the Kony 2012 because we just sat there and watched as we learned about this warmongering, basically terrorist who's taking kids all over Africa. It was weird. It was just a weird time, and I will do some more research to see what came of all that. But that's my first thought was what was Kony 2012 and what are we doing about it?
I think we're gonna get to the bottom of it next week.
Maybe I had to intervene. I don't know.
The fact that you haven't done anything about it is kind of shocking.
I know. I've had a lot of pent up, and I haven't done any research on it.
Not only pent up, but you've had a lot of time too.
Yeah.
It's been nearly 13 years.
It's almost one of those things I don't want closure on because like I just love kind of wondering what happened rather than actually like I'm sure one Google search could tell me all this, and I'll do that Google search now. But I really wanted to like bring it up as just something that like blew my mind how viral it went, and then nothing. It was born and died with zero staying power, unlike anything else I've ever seen.
Yeah, it did kind of just go away because like people had like T-shirts that they would wear. I wonder where all those T-shirts are. Like people just have them in their closet, and
someone has to have one. If you have a Kony 2012 piece of merchandise, please DM us on Instagram at Until We Agree. We would love to see it. And I will say, I did not mean to talk that much, and the voice is failing. So why don't you do your first one? My last two will not be that much.
It actually is. It's more of a question, if we're being honest, because I was gonna say like Halloween's coming up, and I want to know what you're gonna be for Halloween.
Oh, what am I? There were talks of a couple's costume.
That's what I figured there would be because I feel like couple's costumes are all the rage these days, especially if you're in a couple. If you're single, couple's costumes get very difficult. But last year, it was Barbie and Ken like mania, and you can put up the picture of me as Ken if you'd like.
Yeah, that will be on Instagram at Until We Agree.
The cowboy Ken. Now this year, no Barbie movie to speak of, so I don't know what the plan is. What are you looking for? What kind of vibe are you trying to hit?
Yeah, I don't. So you don't have any plan at all? Because I know you guys are all about the couple's costume.
I don't know, because it would be nice. I feel like to do something easy. Like I always love going to Spider-Man.
Yeah, you do love Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I think I'm a little old for that, unfortunately.
No, man, you're only 26.
That's true.
You're doing fine.
Yeah, no,
man.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, but couples costumes too. Like usually it's playing off of like a movie that came out or something fun. But like, I just don't know. Everybody's gonna be like the bear. I feel like just like a white T-shirt and the blue apron. I feel like that'll be a big costume.
Mm-hmm.
What other phenomenon have had?
That's the thing. Has it been a low culture year?
Maybe because I don't really. Let's see. I'm gonna look up just like 2024 Halloween ideas and see if we're missing anything. Because sometimes I'll forget about stuff that happened so early in the year.
Sure.
But yeah, like people are saying Beetlejuice because that new Beetlejuice movie came out. But that's just I feel like that's a weak costume.
And it feels like a lot of work too. Like a lot of work for like payoff that no one would really care about. Stuff like you being Cowboy Ken was like funny because it's like, oh, why is he dressing up like Barbie? You know, Beetlejuice is just like kind of like a Halloween thing to begin with.
Deadpool and Wolverine could be a couple's costume.
Yeah, I guess that was a big
Inside
thing.
Out 2. Travis and Taylor Swift. That'll be.
How can we forget about Travis and Taylor? I guess that was probably a big one last year too, though.
I bet it was, yeah.
But it's still sticking around.
I
think Brittany and I were talking about going as a horse and a bottle of glue.
A horse and a bottle of glue. Now, which one would be which?
It feels like, I don't know. I feel like I would fit into the horse costume better, but it just kind of shows the progression of a horse's life, right? I think that's what people like, is kind of showing one like complete thought, and that's pretty chill.
And okay, am I missing something? Are horses glue?
Yeah, horses turn into glue when they die.
Naturally?
No, factories.
No, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah,
Are you making me? Are you pulling my leg?
I don't know how true it is, but that's like a common joke that like when a horse is like ready to die, you send it to the glue factory.
No way.
I don't know what to
I
tell you,
like
man.
that.
That's just what I've heard.
Okay,
And that's what I'm doing for Halloween.
Well, okay. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I do think like there's like the classics, like every cliche horror movie ever and like what you dress up as for that. But I want to go something trendy. Oh, Wicked, doesn't Wicked come out soon?
Wicked
That
could come
Wicked
out
would be
true.
big.
Yeah, like you could just as Ariana Grande and that guy from SpongeBob.
Yep.
That would be
The guy
pretty
from
good.
SpongeBob. And then Bridgerton.
Yeah, Bridgerton always a big hit. That one kind of I feel like that one could be a big one for sure.
Yeah, I'm liking that. And I'm sure there'll be like politics stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's this show called The Office, and they have this guy named Jim on it. You would love Jim. And Jim put 3 black holes on a white shirt and said he was 3 hole punch Jim.
Yeah, no, I've seen The Office. I've seen that episode, and I feel like that's something you probably did at some point.
I will tell you I did that in 2014.
Okay, I figured you did.
People are still doing it though. People love 3 hole punch Jim.
Yeah, but like, were you 3 hole punch Jim or were you 3 hole punch Matt?
I was 3 hole punch Matt. No, Jim. I don't know.
Sounds like an identity crisis, like waiting to happen.
Uh-huh.
But why don't we move on to your next topic?
Yeah, sure. So, this one on Saturday, I wrote this at 6:17 p.m. I fell asleep at 6:30 p.m. because I was in such like a bad headspace, being sick. Because again, I'm sick. SpongeBob is almost the complete opposite of Garfield.
You're like overly happy. Yeah, and
Not necessarily
and wait,
that.
I'm sorry. This was a topic you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, this is one of them. This is one of my thoughts, my abstract thoughts.
This is abstract?
Well, can I explain it? I feel like you've jumped to conclusions
please
for me.
Elaborate, please.
So, SpongeBob loves going to work. He loves it. He lives to go to the Krusty Krab. Garfield hates Mondays.
Right.
Which means he hates working. He would rather do anything but stop the weekend. And they both love ground beef, but for very different reasons. They use them in very different ways.
I don't know my Garfield lore, so
Garfield
you
loves
could be
lasagna. Garfield loves lasagna. And
right, but that's more than just ground beef.
well, okay, but a Krabby Patty is more than ground beef too. Like a Krabby Patty is a burger and lasagna is lasagna. That's more my point. Is that they both love to use ground beef in their favorite food, but they use them in different ways.
I feel like a simpler way to say that would be one loves to cook food and one loves to eat food.
SpongeBob loves to eat food too. He loves Krabby Patties.
Does he?
Yes, he eats them all the time. Anyways, what's your next one?
Yeah, please. Mine's actually is fun. Without using a fire or a traditional cooking method, which one of us could cook a steak to temperature faster? And how would you do it?
Without using any traditional cooking method, what do you mean?
Yeah. Like you can't use a grill, obviously. You can't use the oven. You can't use the a pan, or not necessarily a pan, but you can't use the stovetop. And you just like you can't like put it over a fire, right? Like without and no sous vide. Like you can't use anything you would normally use to cook a steak. You have to get creative. How are you cooking the steak, and which one of us could get it just up to temp faster? It could be the worst steak you've ever had. It just has to be up to temp.
So essentially, we're in the woods basically, and we're given a filleted piece of meat.
You don't have to be in the woods. You just have to have a stripped kitchen. Like no, like you don't have an oven, you don't have a grill, and you have to cook this steak stat.
Okay, microwave.
No, well, that's a traditional cooking method.
Not for cooking a steak
either.
though. You said for cooking a steak.
But that would be a traditional cooking method, and that would be there's no air fryer.
I was about to say air fryer. That was my next waffle maker.
You would go waffle maker? No. How about let's just go like nothing.
Okay.
No
What do you?
appliance.
Okay. What do you mean?
Can't
Okay.
go,
A big piece.
It was supposed to be fun,
Okay.
man.
A big piece of concave glass in the sun. On the sidewalk.
I said no fire.
That's
You're
not
not
fire.
listening?
How is that fire?
The sun is fire. The sun is fire.
No. No, the sun is not. When the sun gets to us,
The sun is fire.
No, when the sun gets to us, though.
Is it
no,
is
stop
it your
that right
stance?
now. Stop
is
that
it your
right
stance
now.
that the sun is not fire?
No.
Is it your stance that the sun is not fire?
You are.
Concede on just being not factual right now.
That is not what I'm saying. That is
fire.
not what I'm saying. The sun is fire. When the sun gets to us, it's not fire anymore. It's just radiation waves. So it's
Right, but
not
you're still
fire.
using the fire that produces the
That's
weight.
so stupid. Then everything uses fire. When
Nuh-uh.
yeah, huh. When we start a car, it runs on fire because there's ignition inside the engine. I don't know. Like everything.
Yeah, but that doesn't cook a steak, you clown.
Yes, it could. It so could though. Put it in. You put it on top of the. Okay, so if I put a piece of steak on top of the car engine, suddenly it's not. Does that not count? That would get up to temperature eventually, but that's using fire too.
It wouldn't get up to temperature.
Everything uses the sun. Wait, everything uses the sun. If we don't have the sun, we all die. Like this is so stupid.
It's not, but it's.
I'm using the
light.
I'm using the radiation
waves.
waves. No, it's not, because that's why I'm using a concave piece of glass to channel the heat from the sun into one spot, and that's how you cook something on a sidewalk, like an egg or this steak.
Also,
what are you
that would
talking
cook
about?
in such a small, concentrated spot of this steak.
It would eventually get to all of it.
Hard.
It would eventually get to all
It
of
would
it.
be so hard to get it up to temperature. I don't think you thought about this.
I
Because
haven't.
then
This
the
is
steak
Surprise
would
Topic
probably
Tuesday. What do you mean?
it would probably catch on fire, and then you're really breaking the rules.
It wouldn't catch on fire. It would just get hot.
Would you like to hear my idea?
Sure.
Pure friction.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb. You made me try to look like an idiot,
Listen,
which I didn't.
listen.
Which I
Hold
didn't.
on,
My
hold on,
sycophants,
listen,
who
listen,
again
listen,
let
listen.
me win the last poll last week. Shout out to the sycophants.
You want to hear what it sound like? You want to hear what it sound like?
What?
Ready? Boom. 155. We'll let it rest and rise to the temp.
I know you did something. I didn't hear any of it, but I'm sure it was stupid.
You'll hear it in the edit.
Okay. Cool, man. Cool, man. I think anyone would agree. This will be the poll of the week. Would pure friction or a big magnifying glass?
This is not the poll because obviously, if you're gonna cheat and use the sun,
Okay, is the poll of the week? Is there fire on Earth from the sun? Like, what do you mean? Like, there's not fire? Like,
that's not the question, and you know it. You're obfuscating.
I don't know what that means. I've only heard that
I'm
from
sure you
Hamilton. Dude.
Obfuscation? Yeah, it's like you're clouding things up. You're dodging and trying to squirm your little rat.
No, I'm
face out
not.
of this
Not
conversation.
even this time. You're just saying that, like, if the sun was pure fire at all times in the way it's on Earth, then the Earth would be on fire at all times.
Nobody's saying that the sun makes fire on Earth.
The sun gives
it can, by the way.
The sun gives you energy. The sun gives you energy. So if you didn't have the sun, then you wouldn't have the energy to use
Let me
friction.
put you on to photosynthesis real quick.
Yeah, that uses the sun too. Everything uses the sun. So everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything
it's
uses
not about
fire.
using the sun.
Everything uses fire.
It's about using the fire that the sun provides.
No, you said we can't use fire.
That's what I've been trying to say, but you're trying to use it anyways.
I'm using the heat waves from the sun.
Get a grip.
I'm using
Get
the
a
heat
grip.
waves from
Get
the
a
sun.
grip.
I'm
Hey,
using the heat
get a
waves from
grip
the
right
sun.
now.
I'm using the heat waves from
The
the sun. It's
Dayquil
so
is going
different
to your
than-
head. The Dayquil's
No, it's not. No,
going
it's
to your
not.
head, and that's okay.
You are making the
That's
most
okay.
irrational.
That's okay because it'll wear off soon, and
You are
you'll take
making
NyQuil.
You're
and you'll fall
making
right
the
to
most
sleep,
irrational
and
debate
that's going to be okay.
I've ever heard, because
No.
you sound like an idiot because you think you're going to rub your hands together like a little fly to heat up a steak faster than using a big piece. What I'm using is a big mirror in the concrete. I'm not using the sun any more than you're using the sun, because the sun.
A mirror would send the light waves right back to the sun. You
okay,
clown.
I made a piece of glass. I've said glass 13 times. Now you said the mirror once.
Yeah, but
big
then you
deal.
said mirror.
Okay.
And also glass.
you sound
could
so
be,
dumb. You sound
no,
so dumb.
No,
You sound so
also,
dumb. You
a
sound so
glass
dumb.
could be a mirror, but a mirror can't always be glass.
That's
or
true.
the way around. Whichever one makes sense.
I'm not
I don't know.
denying that. I'm not denying that. I'm not
Not
denying
all-
that I
not all-
misspoke. I'm not
all
denying that I
glass is
misspoke for
mirrors,
1 second.
But all mirrors are glass, I believe.
Okay, so I made one mistake this episode. You made every mistake. Shoot. So, let me take that again. So I made one mistake this episode, and every
That's
time you
two though.
and-
You
fine.
just
Okay.
corrected yourself from a second.
I've made 3 mistakes this episode.
Well, now 4 though because
No,
like,
it's
every
3.
time you make a mistake
It's 3
in the
still.
number.
It's 3 still.
No, every time you make a
It's 3
mistake,
still.
saying which how many. Every time you make a mistake, and every time you you're making a mistake by miscounting the mistakes you're making. So you technically have now made infinite mistakes.
No,
You
because
cannot
I was
come
about to-
back
that was
from
about to be
this.
my
You
point.
can't come back from
It's
this.
every time you open
It's
your
over.
mouth this episode, you've made a mistake. Because you sound like an idiot every time you open your mouth because you got caught saying something dumb, and now you're trying to obfuscate to your sycophants how dumb you sound.
Dude, you're 1 for 2 on the words there, so that's another mistake.
And
Why don't you tally that up?
By the way, Brittany said we're being Remy and the chef for Halloween this year.
Oh, that's good. I bet I know who you are.
Yeah, I'm the one who I look exactly like the chef, and I'm not a rat.
I've already said this on this podcast. You look like both somehow.
Somehow I kind of do. But anyways, are you done sounding like an idiot? Because you sound like an idiot for this whole topic that you brought to us, that you had all day to think about, have a good answer for, and you gave us nothing. So are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. My steak's also done. Yours is still at 20 degrees.
No, it's heating up. 20 degrees Celsius maybe. Yours is at
20 degrees Fahrenheit.
0.1 degrees Celsius.
It's basically frozen.
No,
We're cooking from frozen, by the way.
that's fine. Mine's gonna be outside anyway, so it'll thaw out faster.
And what? Mine will be in the freezer cooking. You clown.
You never said you were gonna be outside. You're saying so as far as I can tell, you're inside.
Yeah, but I turned my heat on.
Okay, that's fair. That'll get up to something, I guess. Yeah, man. You're not gonna like when you listen to this one tomorrow. You're not gonna like how you sounded in that one.
I'm gonna like it. You're not gonna like how you sound because you sound sick.
I know my voice is really struggling now. Every word hurts.
I have to
Anyways,
cut this bad boy off in like 8 minutes, right?
yeah, we can wrap this one up fast. So let's just do one. Hit it, Hutch.
You know what it is?
My last topic of Surprise Topic Tuesday is: did anyone actually get chicken pox?
I've never had it.
I've never had it. I've never known anyone who's had it. But yeah, that was just a thought I had. That's all I had to say on it.
Yours are like really short, huh?
Well, my first one was Kony 2012, and then I started to
Now
lose my
that one
voice.
you did, yeah.
These are just more
I mean,
observations than like deeply seated research, you know?
And what happened to the swine flu?
Dude, the swine flu was so much fun for like a week.
Yeah, but then because was it the week that you guys were supposed to go tour the middle school by any chance?
Yes.
Did you get to go tour our middle school? Because we didn't get to.
I forgot.
We didn't get to go
yeah.
tour it. And then we showed up to middle school and I was just lost.
Yeah. No, you're actually so right about that. I didn't even realize that because then the next year we did help do the tours for the elementary school students, but we never did that ourselves.
No.
But that's probably worth it because we didn't have to go to school for a little bit, which was more fun than having to learn where your classes were.
Yeah, and I just remember, and then we did get to do that for high school. And we had mentors and everything.
Yeah, mine was my sister, which was kind of weird, but I still got lost
weird.
on the first day of school just because there's a lot of people, and I was a little guy. I was about to be diagnosed with Crohn's disease, so I hadn't grown in like 10 years. So I was fighting to see over the crowds, but yeah, I did do that one. But was that your third topic? Was swine flu? That'd be crazy if that was.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It just made me think.
Just a fun little thought.
My third topic is actually. It's a surprise to the audience, but you've heard little bits of this.
Okay.
So me versus you in a Lego battle.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited about this.
So we've had this idea now, or I've had this idea.
This was all you. A genius idea. I'll give it to you.
So we're gonna buy 2 identical Lego sets. Big ones. Like I said to Matt, think Hogwarts. We might not buy Hogwarts, but we're gonna get like large ones. I think it's important to note. I've like no experience building Legos. Like I've done it as a kid, obviously, but like I've never like finished anything cool and been like, oh yeah, like a Lego. That's a cool Lego build I just did.
Yeah, I didn't even have Legos. I had like these like jumbo sized Legos, and that's all I ever had. So
yeah,
like they look.
Well,
like
those
Legos.
were just Legos, but you were just so small that they just felt big
No,
to you.
I swear they were extra large.
Yeah, but. No, so we're gonna get that, and then on our TikTok, and add until we agree, we're going to post daily, and the plan is you get 15 minutes per day to work on this thing.
A monster Lego
first.
set. Monster set.
Yeah, monster Lego set. You get 15 minutes a day to work on this thing. We're gonna post our daily progress on our TikTok, and then at the end, we'll probably do some sort of compilation, show how they got built. Probably post that on Instagram, add until we agree as well. But then the kicker is the winner, you win. Great, you win. The loser has to finish the build in one sitting and then take it apart piece by piece. All in one sitting.
Apart. I thought we were just going to have to destroy it.
Nope, you have to take it apart one piece at a time.
Oh no, that's awful.
That is awful.
The thing is,
and so go ahead.
I don't know. I'm usually like when it comes to competitions with us, I'm usually much more confident in my abilities. I have no idea. I might be good at this. I simply have no idea. I could get destroyed in this.
I don't know either. Because it also depends. I feel like a strategy is probably involved. Like maybe I don't know how Legos really work. Like, do you build sections or do you just like start from the base? I don't know. We'll have to pick
They
a
give
Lego set.
instructions, I think.
If you guys know of a Lego set, let's keep it modest. I know there's some like $1,000 Lego sets out there, but like a big one. If you guys know of something we should compete on, and that you'd like us to see or like us to do, let us know in the comments. There's Spotify comments now. If you haven't heard,
Please.
there's not only Spotify comments, but there's a rating system, and you can rate 1 through 5, and we only accept 5-star ratings. So why don't you go ahead and press that button as well?
Unfortunately, we know some people who have given us 1-star ratings, and that's really skewed some stuff for us. So if you give us a 5-star, that would change our entire lives. Our trajectories would be changed forever. So just something to think about. We would appreciate it, and it's so free. And leave that comment on what Lego set to get. And if you have a question for us that you want to hear us debate, kind of like, is the sun fire? Leave a comment on that as well.
Fire, by the way, don't ask that question because that's a bad question. The sun is fire.
It is fire, and I would agree with that. So we have someone who always gives a Q&A question, and it would be a disservice to her to not speak on it right now. How does that sound?
That sounds wonderful. And would you like me to intro this question because your little voice is going away?
Please do.
Okay. Kim asks, if you had to live in a monochromatic house, what color would you pick?
I would pick something the color of my own flesh.
Why?
I guess mostly for hiding purposes.
That sounds gross.
I think the whole concept of the monochromatic house is kind of gross. It's a torture device, is it not? Like people,
it's really weird.
Get kept in
and like
monochromatic housing.
Did that include furniture as well? Like all
I think
has
so,
to be.
yeah. It's kind of like
Kanye does that.
psychopathic.
It's all white. Yeah. Yeah, that's like very American Psycho, which
I
we
was
watched together.
literally just thinking that's what American Psycho does.
See, when I thought about this, I was just going through the color wheel as you do. Like black, like that's a disaster waiting to happen. You're just like can't see a thing probably when it's dark.
Sure. Monochromatic windows, yeah.
White is a cleaning nightmare.
And that's
gray
like that's
feels
like prison
psychopathic.
like, you know? Like if you're in an all white house, it's like you would lose your mind, I think, the quickest.
Yeah, gray feels like it feels psychopathic there. That's gonna be pretty scary. And then you get into like actual colors, like blue. What am I, 12?
Yeah, it's a 12-year-old answer, but it might be the best outside of flesh colored.
But it depends on the shade of blue, because like if you can get like a nice, not too harsh blue, maybe
Mm-hmm.
a green, okay, now we're
pretty
talking.
natural, yeah.
Yeah. And then you start to get like getting like orange, red, yellow, that territory,
little harsh.
And it starts to be like, oh, my eyes hurt in this house all the time. So I think my answer is gonna be not a baby blue, but not a navy blue, but a very matte, not like you, but like
Right.
matte,
Mm-hmm.
a matte mixture of the two.
Okay. I think that's a child's answer, but I think it's a great answer. Once you said green, I'm sticking with flesh colored just for my own reasons, but I think like a forest.
Dang, I put bro on the green. That's
I think
crazy.
a forest green would feel like you're kind of in nature, and I think that's like a more soothing concept as well. But blue is kind of like on the water, which is also soothing. So I think things to soothe your mind in this psychopathic landscape we find ourselves in, thanks to Kim, would be I think the most important thing you can do.
I think she also wanted to guess each other's before we said, and we already said, but I will guess matte skin tone. That's my guess.
Okay, and I'm gonna guess milk colored for you.
Ooh, if it's like whole milk too, like
A whole milk
which got a
wouldn't be
little
bad.
texture.
Yeah,
It's like an eggshell more than a white milk.
yeah. You're a whole milk house kind of guy.
Speaking of milk, what about a milky colored house? Where that way, is it really monochromatic at that point? Because now you've got little specks.
The way we blend our milkies, they are their own color. They don't. The specks almost do evaporate because it's such a pure flavor, pure and consistent
it's
flavor.
pureed.
Yeah.
It's pureed.
So
Pureed. It's fine.
if you want a Milky, again, reach out to us. We're always happy to make one for you. Just
We'll
come,
mail it to
come
you.
find us. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just got back from the post office. You got stamps. We'll mail it to you.
I did get stamps, and I got a few extras. So because they only come in packs of 20. So
We'll mail you. Oh, we'll mail a Milky and stickers from the podcast all in one. If you Venmo us a donation
to charity.
we will Venmo you a Milky, and then I guess we have to do a disclaimer for like food and stuff. Like, we're not FDA certified.
Sure.
It will probably melt. It's probably going to be gross and dirty, maybe rotted and moldy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's it. I
And
think
why
we got our
not?
bases covered.
If you do all that, you can come to my wedding too. Open invite. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're investing in us. I can invest back in them. Well, investing in our charity, of course.
In our charity, yeah. All proceeds go to
PETA.
making the podcast better.
Oh, okay.
Oh, PETA. No, PETA.
Yeah.
Because PETA stands for, as we all know,
Podcasts are
Podcast
entertaining
together
always.
always.
You have a quiz for me?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the quiz. Yeah. What are the top names I'm going to give you 5 countries, and I need you to tell me the top names. Now, I can really only find the data, and I'll tell you the year each time.
People's
But
names.
I can tell you, yeah,
How, like,
people's
last
names, first names.
Oh, interesting.
So we're going to go for Denmark first. And this is the most popular name for Denmark, the first half of 2005.
The first half of 2005?
Yep, so
Okay.
we're pretty specific, but I think you're ready for it.
And this is payback from last week when I had you
Yes, it is.
name the most populated countries in the world that you couldn't do, but I have to name this is so funny. the most common male first names?
Yep, we're going to go male.
The most common male first names from Denmark for the first half of 2005. That's so funny.
What is it?
There's only one?
Yeah.
Okay. Peter.
Nope. Do you want a second? You can have 2 guesses, like you let me have.
John.
It's Magnus.
I was going to get to Magnus. I'm not even kidding. That was like my 5th guess.
Right. So now we're going to move to a little bit of a more fun country, I'd say.
Oh, that wasn't it. I thought we were done. Okay.
No, we're doing 5 countries. So let me put you on to Estonia.
Okay. They have like
Oh, and this is, wait, my bad. This is from 2013.
first half or second half or full year?
Full year 2013.
Okay, that does change things. Harsher names than Denmark, but not as harsh as Russian names. Volnik,
Nope.
Nicholas,
Nope. It's Rasmus.
Smirnov. Are you serious?
It's Rasmus.
Here's the thing. People are gonna listen to my answers and say he really was not that far off. Those were not bad guesses.
No.
Those were okay.
I don't think so. Next is India.
Okay, I work with a lot of people in India. Mayor.
No.
Ooh. Sanjay.
No. Ramesh.
I work with the Ramesh. That stinks. I would have gotten to that one
That
eventually.
does stink.
That was a good one. That's a
Next.
fun country.
Next, Slovenia.
Okay. I think who's from Slovenia? Is that Luka Doncic? That's not my guess. Is he Slovenian or is he a different country?
I believe he's Slovenian.
Okay, names like Luka. What year is this from?
2006.
Okay, names like Luka. That might be like a Nicholas.
Nope.
Lucas.
Nope. It's Frank.
Frank.
With a C.
Okay.
With a C.
Okay. That's not. Yeah. I can see that.
Switzerland is the last country. Switzerland.
Ooh. Okay. I think I can actually get this one.
2004. Among German speakers.
Among German speakers. That stinks. Because everyone knows that Switzerland has a bunch of different languages that they speak over there. So among German speakers, changes things. Adolf?
No. I think they got rid of that name a while ago.
Franz?
Nope.
I have one more.
Okay.
Michael?
No. It's Luca.
Are you serious? No. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Shoot. Spelled the same
You
way?
want to do one more? One more?
Yeah, give me another one.
Austria.
Could bro not give me the United States just like once? That would still be
Austria.
hard. Austria?
Yeah.
Johann.
Nope.
People are going to listen to this episode and say he did a really good job with these, by the way. I know I've already said that once. These are all like region appropriate names.
Okay, and what's the real answer then?
Mohammed?
No, it's Lucas.
Are you? I've guessed that like
I
8
love
times.
circling back to ones you've already said.
Give me the United States.
Yeah, United States.
From
Go
what
for
from
it.
what year?
Let me check because it wasn't on the list. This is gonna be from 2023 or no 2024.
Oh,
As of May
man.
2024.
Okay, that's unfortunate because like names
Go boys and girls.
names are getting weird. Isn't the girl name? Is that not Olivia?
It is.
I only remember that I heard that like a while ago. I was like, did Olivia Rodrigo have that much of an impact? Like, how else could that have been like the name that like shot to the top? So Olivia, I knew that one. Boys, it's something more weird than I would like it to be, right? It's
No.
not like crazy. Is it like a name that like from like our time?
From our time.
Like people our
Doing
age,
what?
were people our age name this, or is it like a very like new age name?
Yes, people our age were named this.
Jackson?
No,
Is it a J name?
no.
And
I'll give you a hint. It's one of the 5 One Directioners.
Okay. Ed Sheeran. Probably not that.
What?
No. I can't imagine it's Niall. It's not Harry, is it?
It's not Harry.
It's Liam. It's
It's
Liam.
Liam. It's Liam.
Liam is like a new age like name. Like people had that name before, but like that is a huge name now. I could believe that. All right. So that was like one. I got one right. That's better than you did last week on
Yeah,
a
and
much
it was a
easier
consolation,
question.
and it wasn't better than I got a couple right last week. So
I just know that my web browser women are way more important than those dirty little men who listen to this podcast. So I wanted to be sure I got the women answer right.
well, you're a clown. So I hope you rest up, feel a little bit better,
Thank you so much.
and you interrupted me. But
I said thank you so much. Oh my gosh, bro. You're on edge after you sounded so
oh my
stupid.
gosh. No, oh my gosh. Because here's the thing.
Okay.
We're going to try a new bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it, Stitch.
Hey, it's Stitch here.
We'll see what happens.
Thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.